Teddy and I would like to talk to you about a way to make your life more artful. Whenever we volunteer, we feel great. We want you to feel great too, so think about volunteering, especially at the Reading Radio for the Blind radio station, WCRS, located on East Market Street in Akron, Ohio. Join me now as I meet with David Binkley, station manager.
We are at the Reading Radio for the Blind station, WCRS, and we're going to be talking with David Binkley. He's the station manager here for Reading Radio for the Blind. They've been going for many, many years, so we're going to hear about that from David. Let's travel down the hall a bit and see if we can find David, see what he's up to here. All right, I'm just going to travel down this lovely hallway at WCRS and see if I can't find David Binkley, station manager, and aha, there you are. David, it's nice to see you.
Good to see you. Been a while.
Oh, it has been a while. I used to volunteer here, and I loved it. That's one reason we're here today, David. So you've done a lot with the station.
We've been here a while, and sometimes, I spend more hours here a day than I do at home. So
I believe it.
But it's really rewarding for what we do. Why don't we have a seat and we can talk?
Great idea. David, it's remarkable. How long have you been here as station manager or as a worker here?
Well, I started actually as a volunteer for WCRS in 1979. I was 4 years old at the time. Actually, I was a senior in high school.
Oh, that's great.
And there are two volunteers that have been here longer than I have. And in October, one of our volunteers will celebrate 30 years of volunteer reading with us at
fabulous.
WCRS. And of course, at that time, we were originally Tri-County Radio Reading Service, serving Portage, Stark, and Summit counties.
You still remember it?
And I had to give the station ID. But I started in high school and ended up doing between a little bit of my own programming plus engineering and taking out the trash and answering the phone and delivering radios and that's what I do now, except I get paid for it.
So it's a little different.
Except that there are a lot more hours than there used to be, but that's okay.
And I understand that there are different apparatus that go in to the homes. The blind people can come and pick up a transmitter, is that what they call it, that will then receive the signal?
The radio?
Yeah, it's called the actual radio.
It's called a radio.
Making it very technical.
It's very, very technical. I guess it would be called a receiver if you didn't want to call it a radio. But they are radios, and they have varied quite a bit. At one time, as I have up top here,
you do a
very big wooden box, and at that time they probably cost $85, $95 a piece. Beautiful sound, and a lot of it's because it's cased in wood. And as plastic became more prevalent and McMartin's went out of business and companies like that, I think it kind of deadened, but I found these small portable radios right here.
Oh, cool.
That I think have a much crisper sound. There's not as much plastic. It's not embedded and hidden in, and it's extremely portable. Our listeners can just put in 2 AA batteries and take it around with them wherever they want to go.
This is really nice. I like how streamlined it is, David.
Now that we're 24/7, 365 days a year, it gives us the opportunity for someone like me, who's the only employee, to work with approximately 75 volunteers and be able to keep an operation going 24/7.
Yes, and there's a volunteer in the booth right now as we're speaking.
There is a volunteer in the booth.
Reading.
And what they do is they come in and they sign the book. And as they do that, we get them whatever reading materials they are. Some people have specific things that they regularly read, and if I need something else, a lot of times they'll give in for that. Ron came in today and I was a little short-handed. Said, Ron, can you go ahead and read the Daily Record for me, the Worcester or the Wayne County paper?
Yeah.
And I said, sure. And he helped us out there. And some people just come and say, what do you have for me today? Some people like having something different to read all the time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It gives them the variety in learning different things. And then there's some people who would rather really get comfortable with something and stay there.
It was a good day.
It all depends on everybody who is here and volunteers for a different reason, and everybody likes to read different things, which makes it easier. So we have so many different things that we have to read.
This is wonderful. How many people do you think are actually listening? They have these little radios.
They have these little radios. These radios are pretty new, and we just recently ordered 400 of them. 100 of them right here for Akron, and 300 for them for a news service that we've just recently started in Mansfield. Although Mansfield is an hour away, we do everything from right here. And we use the internet by streaming our signal over the internet, actually streaming their signal. Much of what we do is, for them, is the same as ours, except that they have their own station IDs, and they're broadcasting on Saturday because of some limitations are a little bit different, are actually quite a bit different. But generally, it's the same program, usually running within a minute of each other because of the different station IDs and such. And then in the place of like the Record Courier here in Portage County, I don't think an hour away they really care about that. So we give them their Mansfield paper.
Yeah.
Any more than people in Portage County would really care what happens in most of Mansfield, unless there's a nice little juicy tidbit story that they want to hear.
Sure.
But outside of that way we can localize, and as we get a few more volunteers that it's like good pitching. You always can use more volunteers.
That's true.
And as we get more volunteers, the next thing I want to do is to take the Ashland paper and present that to them in place of the Canton Repository. So right now they're getting Canton Repository, which is more local than perhaps even the Beacon, but the Ashland paper is just right there for them. And we have listeners in Ashland as well now, because they're in a sense right next door to
that's great.
Mansfield. So
you're branching out.
We are branching out.
This is exciting, David.
At a time of budget cuts.
That's right.
See what you can do when you have one person who is silly enough to try and do everything.
And that's you, David
That's me.
Binkley. Congratulations. No, that really is to be commended, because you have stuck in there, talk about a number of years, and look what's happened. You're actually branching out.
It's exciting because, for so many years, Mansfield, it was a dead area where just really no media could get. With cable, they got their television, and now because of the internet, we're able to get our signal to them and create their own service for them. And the longer we go on, the more I'd like to have a little bit more separation of our services and have more programs tailored towards them.
You probably noticed that while we were talking, volunteer Veronica came in. And so we wanted to ask her how she felt about being a volunteer here at WCRS Reading Radio for the Blind.
How often do you read?
I read every week. I've been here for about 6 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're a very good reader.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's probably why you do it. Gives you a good, warm and fuzzy feeling.
I am a relationship builder, and, whether I can do it face to face or I can do it over the air, it's what I love to do.
Oh, and so do every week you pick something different, or is it always from a newspaper?
I read the Reporter newspaper, which is the city's African-American newspaper, and I read it every week. Every Wednesday it comes on the air.
I bet you they really appreciate that.
I think they do. Well, you know what? I get a half an hour, or we'll say 29 minutes to read. So what I do is I just pick the best of the best as I can that I can get in a 29-minute time period, and then I read it to the audience. And I try to pick some things that are of interest, some get-to-it things, some activities they can go to, or just some really good articles that you'll also find on like national news. I try to read that. So just things everyone's going to be interested in.
How would you advise someone that might be a little bit frightened to come and read? What could you tell our viewers in order to get them off their couches and come and help out? You know what?
If you're sitting at home and you're reading the paper and you're reading those magazines to yourself, why not come on down and read at WCRS?
Good point, Veronica.
Yeah, you're reading anyway.
Yes,
so just read it out loud.
That is such a good point. And doing things for other people comes back at us, doesn't it? Make us feel good.
It feels so good to give back. It's nothing like, just giving back. It's nothing like it. I mean, it's something as giving the gift of your voice. We're actually giving the gift of sight to those who can't read for themselves. Ooh. What a wonderful gift to give.
What a beautiful way to put that.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I commend you. I think you're a beautiful reader and a beautiful person. Thanks for being on
you.
The Art of Living.
You know what? I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Good work.
I will. Thanks.
I want to thank Veronica. She is a great reader and a fabulous gal. And thanks also to David Binkley, station manager for WCRS. Next time, we're going to take a look at some of the other rooms at WCRS. So stay tuned for another episode on The Art of Living. Thanks for being with us today.